Hello everyone, this is Nick from thisautonomouslife.org, and today I went out and picked some blackberries at my grandma's property, and I'm going to cook up a pie right now. This is the second sort of autonomous thing that I've done. This a little less autonomous than the peas that I picked a couple days ago. Those were purely, grown right there and then thrown right in the pot and made, no other, ingredients bought from the store. So the pie, however, will require a lot of sugar, a lot of shortening, things such as that will, put the thing together. But what you need to go out, you need to get about 4 cups of berries. I recommend using a milk jug and cutting off the top, and you can just throw a string here and like that, and then you can throw it around your neck and use both hands. My grandpa, he insists you have to wear a long sleeve shirt when you're blackberry picking. Might be a good idea. I didn't today. It was a little hot outside. I do recommend you must wear, or you should anyways, wear pants and shoes that you don't mind getting a little dirty. You're going to have to dig around and get into the get down into the the briars and the bushes in order to acquire this many blackberries. It's been a particularly good growing season for blackberries, or at least at my grandma's house this year, and we're in the western New York region. And it's funny, sometimes they grow great in certain areas and really bad in that same area the next year. They sort of fall into cycles. I don't know if that has anything to do with over harvesting or anything like that. But I'm talking little localized areas. Either way, so make sure you've got dirty clothes and you get out there and you pick. Now, sometimes you've got to really hunt around for these, and once you start to find a few, you'll find a little bit more, and then slowly you start to just see more and more and more blackberries as you're going. A lot of people just give up after trying to pick a little bit and they don't find any. You gotta sometimes hunt around for the blackberries. So, first thing I'm going to do is wash them in a strainer and make sure I've got the 4 cups necessary. Essentially, the recipe is just a normal, it's a blueberry pie recipe, but I'm just replacing the blueberries with blackberries. So here it is, my blackberry mix. Now I gotta disclaim over and over again, I'm sure for a long time I'll be doing this. I'm not a cook, and I do make lots of mistakes, so hopefully when you're trying this, if you try this, you won't make the same mistakes that I made. Right now, I feel like I may have screwed up royally because I didn't mix the sugar and the flour before putting this all in, so I made sure to kind of mix it extra good. You can see it's extra mushy. So the preferable way of doing this is to have blackberries that are still individual blackberries and not so much mush. But I just wanted to make sure it was mixed because of my little mishap there. I get a little nervous when I'm cooking because I don't do it on a regular basis. So what's in here? This is simply a ½ cup of sugar, a 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, and then the 4 cups of berries. Now, the crust recipe is one that comes from, I guess, my grandma as well. So it's kind of fitting, I guess, that I'm making pie with berries from Grandma's house, and with a recipe, part of the recipe anyways, from Grandma's house as well. And so what's in here right now, I just have shortening. I've got a 1/3 cup of shortening, a cup of flour, and then a ½ teaspoon of salt. And apparently you're supposed to, I think that I'm supposed to use some special tool for this, but I just, I don't have that special tool, so I'm just going to use a fork. So again, like I said, I'm as novice to cooking as it is, I think, possible to be. And so, stay tuned with me and we'll see how this turns out. So I've been stirring this for a while now, and the recipe also calls for, I failed to mention this, it calls for 2 to 3 teaspoons of water put in. I guess it's your own judgment, I suppose. I'm going to go with 2. I guess that sounds like a fair estimate, and I think I'm almost done with this, and then I'll just be pressing it out and making some sort of crust. Okay, so problem numero dos or tres. My bottom crust is a little, I think it's too moist. I'm not sure. I spread it out with a spoon. Like I said, I really don't know what I'm doing. And if you're a cook out there, you're probably just about pulling your hair out right now. So I'm gonna, for the top crust, I'm gonna use more flour, and I'm gonna try, because I did a little research after this adventure, that you're supposed to be able to roll it out first, obviously, probably, and then put it down. So I'm gonna go with this though. Famous last words, I suppose. We'll see how that works. This, I guess, would be a good point to bring up the fact that this whole project is based on the idea that we can communicate. Whoa, excuse me, jeez, excuse me, and we can communicate and talk about how to cook and tips and things like that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in my boat who really are just oblivious to cooking homemade things, and so they're gonna probably make the same mistakes I am. So I figured I'll make the mistakes for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to make the second batch of dough or pastry and see how that turns out. I have something that actually rolls out rather than just gets spread around with a spoon. This is quite humorous. I'm learning very quickly that this pin needs flour on it in order to efficiently roll this out. And this is interesting. My hands are washed, so don't fret. Oh man, I have to get some more of that flour, so alright, pushing forward, moving ahead. So they said that it couldn't be done. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care who you are, that there's a pie. If I walked down the street and you up to me and said, "What's that?" "Oh, well, that there's an uncooked pie." I don't care what anyone says, that's an uncooked pie. I don't care if it looks like brains. Except for there's one major problem. I forgot another ingredient. I forgot something. I'm supposed to take some little slices of butter and stick them around, I think. That's what I'm picking up off of the Betty Crocker 1986 guide to cooking. So, I'm gonna try to pull back, like doing brain surgery, some parts of this and get those slices of butter in there and then clean this up a little bit. So, fingers crossed. We're going to throw this in the oven in a few minutes as soon as the oven preheats and leave it in there for about 35 to 45 minutes. And hopefully we'll, you know, have a successful Blackberry Pie. I'm guaranteeing, almost guaranteeing, it's not going to be anywhere near the level that my mom or grandma's Blackberry Pie is, but this one has got the secret ingredient: love. Well, alright, it's time to reflect on the Blackberry Pie experience. All in all, it was a worthwhile time. I mean, I had a blast going out to grandma's and picking all the berries. That was fun. Cooking was one hell of an adventure. Made a few mistakes. And so, the moment of truth, how did it turn out? Well, not too bad, actually. Not too bad. The top of the pie, apparently I used like self-rising flour, and so it was a little salty because I added some salt. So that's a big no-no. So kids, make sure you check your labels. No self-rising flour. It's got to be just generic multi-purpose. The bottom crust ended up actually turning out fine. It was perfectly fine. And the berries were fine as well. All in all, worked out.